thought it would be cool to just go over because we kind of tapped into some, but I think it would be cool to go over some myths, like traditional things that people maybe are still latching onto. I brought up the certain foods, that you have to eat in order to get lean. Like that was a thing in the past. We don't have to go that, that way specifically, but what do you say? Like, you want to tap into a few of those? I can bring up some good ones, and then maybe you could elaborate since you're a coach as
Yeah,
well.
sure, man.
Okay, cool. So let's start with meal frequency. You need to eat a certain amount of meals per day if you're trying to get lean, because the whole metabolism thing. And you made a video on this way in the past, but has that changed? Is that still the reality of the situation? Where are we at with that?
Yeah, there's been so much controversy around that, but at the end of the day, everyone is a unique individual, and it always comes down to what works best for you, your schedule, your preferences. Like, there is no difference calories equated if you eat 3 meals a day or 6 meals a day. I mean, if we're taking in the same calories, if we're in a surplus, we're in a surplus. We're going to gain weight. If you're in a deficit and you eat 3 meals, or if you eat 8 meals, if you're in a deficit, you will still lose body fat, lose weight. I think it comes, like I said, it comes down to your preference. And some people try and get so sciencey with it, and then they start bringing up intermittent fasting, and you should only eat twice a day in this window. And it's like, well, that doesn't work for everyone. I think you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, is it realistic to eat 6 times a day? Does my schedule allow for that? Can I eat twice a day, or does my body not digest the meals properly? Then you have the whole conversation of people saying you should have X amount of protein feedings per day spaced out evenly. And it's like, you can overthink this stuff, or you could just take like a middle ground approach, see what works out best for you, and pay attention to biofeedback. I have a lot of my clients, I like to collect a lot of data. I think I'm not going to make changes or adjustments unless I know what's going on. And one of the big things that we track are things like appetite, digestion, satiety. And the more you tell me, the more we can kind of customize the plan to you. So I don't write meal plans. I prescribe macro targets and calorie targets, and I work with the person, and we're looking at data every day to see, like, is this working for you? Like, I'm not going to tell someone to eat 6 times a day when they work a 12-hour shift. I work with police officers. I work with nurses who have overnight shifts or 24-hour shifts. Like, how are you going to tell someone that they have to eat X amount of meals a day? So I would say stay away from the extremes, like 10 meals a day or 1 meal a day. Like, I wouldn't go that far, but I think middle of the road, I'm a big fan of between 3 and 5 seems to be the sweet spot. I'm personally not a huge fan of things like snacking very often. I think that just leads to more hunger. That's just me personally. I feel like if you consistently eat small meals every 2 hours, you're never giving yourself the ability to feel satisfied. And then you're very food focused. So to me, that's the problem with too many meals too frequently, is that you're always looking for that next meal. And I think food focus could be a dangerous road for some people. It could lead to disordered eating because that's all you start to think about. So I think you need to find out what's going to work best for you. I say anywhere between 3 and 6 works best for most people. And then I tell everyone to experiment. I'll first preface by saying there's a very big difference between eating disorders and disordered eating. I've been very open about my disordered eating, essentially like orthorexia. Simply put, it's just a fixation on healthy eating. And I was caught in that trap for years. I'm sure a lot of people listening can relate. It's just very, very hard to admit.